following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Welcome to Gate City Chronicles. I'm Kevin Avard, your host, and we have a special guest here today, Melissa
Ballard Sullivan.
Say that again, please.
Ballard Sullivan.
Ballard Sullivan. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kevin. My
we
pleasure.
were talking about Miami Nights before we came on air, and you made a beautiful little brochure, and I'm kind of envious, but you did it yourself.
Yeah.
And tell me about where you hail from, anyway.
Well, I'm from Manchester.
Mm-hmm.
I work here in Nashua at Marguerite's place as the director of development. I've been here for about 3 years, and I love the Nashua community. And the Nashua community is very unique, especially in the nonprofit world. They all really do work together to serve those clients, and they don't duplicate services here in Nashua.
Nashua, I'll say it. I've probably said it 100 times already. It is a unique place. There are so many organizations. If you need help for anything, it seems, come here. There are a lot of people, a lot of organizations that want to reach out and help people. You said Marguerite's Place. What is Marguerite's Place?
Well, we're a transitional housing program for homeless women with children. Mm-hmm. We offer 10 fully furnished units for the women, along with some very intense case management, on-site childcare, and security. They can stay with us for up to 2 years, and during that time we really work on self-sufficiency. So it really is a place where women go to get that, not a handout, it's a hand up.
Yeah.
So a lot of the women that we service come from domestic violence situations. So it's a place that they can come to restore and heal and kind of put their plan in place to redirect their lives and their lives of their children so that they can stand on their own.
And when you say, excuse me, when you say homelessness or homeless, these aren't women necessarily just living on the streets, are they?
You know, to be honest with you, homelessness comes in all different shapes and sizes and stories, right? Whether it's a homelessness because of a job loss, the economic homelessness, and we see what I call social homelessness, and that is really stemming from a lot of domestic violence. Mm-hmm. When a woman chooses to leave her abuser, she suddenly becomes homeless. So if she's lucky enough to have some support from her family, but that may only last for so long, so she may be couch surfing, or what we see oftentimes is the children may be housed with the grandparents, but the mom's sleeping in the car. And these are college students who have this situation. It's they come from different shelters. They come from different areas in the United States too. We don't require them to just come from Nashua and the surrounding area. The majority do, but some people seek us out, and they're in true need when they seek us out like that.
So when somebody comes to seek you out, they obviously there must be fear many times when they come to you. You help them stay anonymous where they're at and what you're doing. What's the process of taking them in?
Well, Marguerite's Place is a program. So they've got to be willing to work a program. They've got to be willing to go to school or work for 30 hours a week. Their children will attend our child care center, which is affordable, very high quality and affordable for that mom. So it's a great place for her to feel comfortable and confident in leaving her child. Especially, which is especially important if you're coming from a domestic violence situation, to know that your child is safe,
right,
and with people that understand your circumstance, and then they can go off to work. So we require them to work 30 hours, and they learn to pay a small amount of what we call a service fee. It's $368 a month across the board, no matter how much the girl is earning. And that's really the equivalent of 1 month of a shelter stay.
Low rent, yeah. With the child as well.
Then the child care is usually subsidized by the state, so they may be only paying $5 a week compared to like $125 or more for regular child care. Child care is very expensive.
Oh, yeah. Do you help them find jobs? Or
We do, but we also work with all the other agencies in the area. We work with the Soup Kitchen. Tom Lopez has a fabulous program. He does a great job. We work with the state offices of Health and Human Services as well, and the different ready-to-work programs that they have. And really, we sit and we dream with the girls. What do you really want to do? Here's an opportunity to reinvent yourself.
Right.
And, some girls want to go back to school and get that training. Some girls need to be brushed up on just basic skills so that they can take their GED. But that's very big. We really want them to have that high school diploma or better when they leave Marguerite's Place. And they usually all leave earning higher than they come in earning.
So you said the average, they can stay up to 2 years at this facility. And within that 2 years, you must require certain benchmarks for them to get along.
Oh, absolutely. What makes us unique here in Nashville with our transitional housing program is we have intensive case management. So we have a staff of 2 that work, different hours throughout the day. So there's always somebody available to do case management. And we're also staffed 24 hours a day. So after the office closes, we have a residential assistant who is also there to assist the women with any circumstances that come up. The intensive case management services really helps them to make that goal-setting plan, and they'll also work on, giving them the financial education or tools that they need so that they can be financially independent, and they check with them day to day, week to week, and they set up the different, markers, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, so that they're achieving their goals, and they're always planning for their departure.
How did this start up? How long has this been around?
So Marguerite's Place is 22 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was founded by 2 sisters they were Sisters of the Grey nuns. So it was Sister Mary Sharon Welch and Elaine Fahey that started it. And then they became a lay organization in about 2006, meaning they have a regular lay board of volunteers. So we do keep true to our Catholic roots, but the sisters were brilliant. They really saw a way to make a difference in the Nashville community, and they had a true vision. And one of the dreams that they had was not only in starting Marguerite's Place with the on-site childcare, but dreaming out after. And that next step, once they leave Marguerite's Place, they wanted them to be able to go someplace else as a second step and still have a bridge back to Marguerite's Place. So over the years, Marguerite's Place has been able to buy condominiums throughout the Nashville area so women can live independently, stay attached to our program with our child care services and some case management support, and be part of our Christmas program. But they have an opportunity to live out on their own, pay a little bit more rent, start adjusting to that.
Flexing your muscles a little bit more, right?
Absolutely, and they can stay up to 5 years.
Wow. And then move on. That's amazing. And what the staff is only a couple people at the facility?
Right. The majority of our staff is really made up of the different teachers that we have. Marguerite's Place is a licensed plus child care center that is also open to the public. So most of our children come from neighborhoods or other shelters or other programs. Really, we're licensed for 30 children.
So that must help to defray the cost for other things too. So
Right,
that's,
right.
That's fantastic. So you have a fundraiser coming up.
We do. It's a very important fundraiser to support our children's programs. It's called Miami Nights. It's Friday, April 1st. It starts at 6 p.m., goes till 11. It's an 80s dance party. And it has all these little twists and turns.
You have to have big
throughout the
hair
night.
to come?
You have to have huge hair, right? The big
I remember
shoulder
the
pads.
80s.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
absolutely.
My wife showed me a picture of her 80s stuff and the bangs and the hairs and people must have swallowed that hairspray.
It's so much fun. Right.
I say you people,
Probably.
I'm just saying
No,
the
I get it.
the ladies.
I still like the big hair.
Yeah.
It's very hard to get rid of, But for us, we're also doing a Tubbs and Crockett look-alike contest. So those were the 2 main characters in Miami Vice.
Okay.
So we definitely have something fun for the gentlemen. And we're doing a Best Dressed 80s Ladies contest as well. So there'll be 2 contests. And then there's going to be a little bit of a surprise for our guests. And we're going to do a little silent auction that's themed with a boardwalk, so we'll have some unique gifts from the community for people to bid on and have fun with. And we'll do a little fun donate, and people will have an opportunity to learn more about our direct services and the cost.
Yeah.
How much we spend a week for milk, some very basic things. But all in all, it's a really wonderful time, and Sky Meadow does a great job for us every year.
So it's going to be at Sky Meadow, so
Right.
that's interesting. And I'm kind of curious as far as you said what to wear. Okay, so that's
Shoulder pads.
Shoulder pads.
White linen jacket.
What do the guys wear?
That's what they wear.
Oh my gosh.
They'll wear the pastel T-shirts,
Do
you
we
know,
do
the white
the,
jacket.
John Travolta stuff?
Definitely, definitely. We're going to do a little music trivia. We have some prizes to give out, so it's a really great time. We have a DJ that specializes in 80s dance parties, and his name is Tommy Demers from Get Down Tonight DJs out there in Salem.
Get Down Tonight.
Yep.
I know all that music. So,
Oh yeah, so you should come.
Oh, yeah. We'll
Bring your
try.
friends.
April 1st. Let's
April
see.
1st.
Yeah, I can't dance. I'm a singer. I'm not a dancer.
Well, we'll give you the mic.
I did we'll get back to this again, but I'm just kind of wondering, nowadays we're hearing a lot, we sit on Health and Human Services and we hear about hunger. 44,000 children are hungry in New Hampshire. 44,000.
It's mind-blowing,
We
isn't it?
I know Catholic Charities gives about 11 million pounds of food to help defray that hunger. But along with the child, if they're hungry, obviously mothers are too. What is the need out there? What are you seeing that maybe the general public doesn't see on a regular basis?
Well, most of our moms are eligible for the food stamp programs.
Yeah.
So they'll receive a lot of those benefits. But what's important to know with that benefit is they don't supply diapers with that benefit. So that's a huge cost for moms to take care of their children with. So at Marguerite's Place, being a Strengthening Families Center, we'll do everything we can to keep a positive balance between the teacher and the parent. You don't want to turn that ever into a negative conversation of, I need you to bring in diapers for your child. So at Marguerite's Place, we provide free diapers for those children, and that's basically thanks to all the various donors that donate the diapers to our program. Otherwise, we'd never be able to do that. Our children, as part of our daycare, also receive 2 meals a day. They receive a tremendous breakfast and a heavy lunch, almost an equivalent for dinner. We've received different donations from the Hollis Brookline Church, Congregational Church. They put together usually a basket for us for all of the holidays. So our moms in our transitional housing program receive those. And the need that we see is the gap between transitional housing and that second step that we were talking about, those condos. Those girls are earning a little bit more money. Oftentimes more money means less services, less benefits. And those are the women that really struggle. So those baskets and those food donations really go to that population that's living on the condos.
There seems to be that balance that we want you to be successful and become independent, but if you do, you're going to lose these benefits.
Scary.
And that transition is like jumping off a deep cliff
Right.
for some people, and they're more comfortable keeping the benefits rather than because they're afraid of losing. And that's a nice parachute that you have to bridge that gap. I think what I'm concerned about, though, is are you turning people away? Are there a lot of people that are needing these services? Do we have a problem statewide?
For housing, what we're seeing is that there is a lot of homeless women out there that do become homeless for various reasons. A lot of it is domestic violence. They don't necessarily all want to work a program. Some of them just want to slide into a free housing or a low-cost housing shelter. So Marguerite's Place is for women who really want to make the change in their life.
Right.
And sometimes that can be hard to find. It hasn't put us out of business, hasn't hurt our clientele at all.
Right.
So we seem to be doing very well. We've got that model down pat where we know we provide a good quality service. Our outcomes speak to it. 100% of our girls go on to permanent housing. And we have various different stories of accomplishments. Last year we had our first UNH graduate. So one of Marguerite's Place's kids went on to graduate from UNH. We have some of our graduates serving in the service. So these are These are children that grew up or spent some time at Marguerite's Place. And a lot of these moms are successful. They've gone back to school. Some are nurses. And about 2 years ago, we had one of our graduates open up her own business. That's pretty tremendous when you open up your own Chinese restaurant in Bedford, New Hampshire.
You think? That's in Bedford. Well,
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's wonderful. So definitely heartwarming to hear these stories of success. Wow.
They work hard.
And I think we were talking off air that you don't receive grant money anymore.
Well, we don't receive money from the federal
From the
government or the state right now. HUD has, really changed its focus and really are focused on rapid rehousing. Transitional housing isn't rapid rehousing. The rapid rehousing model is more like, you come in, we give you free everything for 6 months, and then after that, you're going to be on your own. With transitional housing, we work with them at every different step of the way. So that makes it very different. But with HUD and Marguerite's Place, they define homelessness differently. We consider that mom who's out there in her car at night freezing while her daughter is sleeping maybe at her grandmother's house. We consider her to be homeless. Yeah. Any couch surfing, we consider that to be homeless. The HUD guidelines really want them to come from a shelter. So they have had to have had a shelter stay in order to be qualified as homeless. And when you look at the different algorithms and the different measures that HUD really puts on that grant money, it's become not worth it for us to take or accept that grant money, because according to their different algorithms and how they want us to calculate rent and stay, we start getting further away from our mission. And if we just bought into that whole algorithm, we would have people living at Marguerite's Place for free, or we'd be paying them. So that's not our goal at Marguerite's Place. Our goal is to teach that self-sufficiency. Right. And it starts by being responsible, even
and that
for a
helps
small
the
amount of
community,
money.
it helps the families, it helps the children with role modeling and on and on. It seems like the other model can possibly keep somebody in that spiral for a long period of time.
Yeah, I think it's extenuated. With transitional housing at Marguerite's Place, the one thing that I would like to share with you is that we do oftentimes put out a plea for a wish list for items like new pillows and new towels and new sheets and new blankets. And every once in a while we'll have some feedback about, well, why don't you want used? And women that are coming from a very difficult situation or have found themselves homeless, they usually are coming to us hollow. They really don't have a lot of self-esteem. So when we open up a fully furnished apartment and they can see tags on their towels that they were new, that somebody bought them for them, it's such a special feeling. It's such a special gift that our donors are able to give to these women. And that immediately starts that self-esteem building process.
I was just going to say there's a level of dignity that goes along
Exactly.
with that and helps them to reestablish that dignity, especially if they were verbally or physically beat down.
Absolutely. When they come to us, they're coming sometimes with a garbage bag, just whatever they have on their back, and it's a building process. And one of the things that the sisters did 22 years ago was every apartment has a washer and dryer. So when the girls first come to us, they're not able to, a lot of times, to make eye contact or to look you in the eye and keep their heads up, and their clothes may be dirty, and after 2 weeks at Marguerite's Place, there's such a noticeable transformation that starts occurring. It's really wonderful to see and be a part of.
Do you ever take in people that are, might be abusing drugs at any point, or is that, how do you deal with that situation?
Well, anybody that has recovery or addiction issues, they have to be 6 months sober, and they have to be free from Suboxone, and it's 100%.
Yeah.
Recovery. We've had great success with that. We usually take one mom in recovery at a time with our transitional housing, because you're talking about 10 units, so they, recovery, we want to give them as much support as they need, so they do take a little bit more support, so we're able to manage one at a time.
Are there organizations around the state like Marguerite's that you're familiar with or affiliated with?
Not affiliated with yet, but we work collaboratively with the National Continuum of Care here. So if there's somebody who's difficult to house, we'll have a meeting and we'll talk with them from the Front Door Agency, from Harbor Homes, and if our program doesn't fit, we'll find a fit within the community for them. So Marguerite's Place actually answers the phone for the coordinated entry line
Wow.
one day a week, so we're able to really get that person housed. And in Nashua, I'm telling you, you really are very fortunate here. Everybody works together, and they don't want to duplicate any resources.
It's such a it's a mystery how all these things have happened here in Nashua. It's just, you mentioned the front door, and I'm going to keep repeating this about the front door. My grandparents used to own that building.
Really?
Yeah, and
It's a beautiful building.
7 Concord Street. And my grandmother used to leave bowls of food out at the front door. Now, this was called something else prior to this, but she used to leave, and I think my grandfather used to get irritated with it a little bit, but she was the boss. And I remember my dad telling me that she would leave food out at the front door for the homeless people. And I hear, I mean, they passed away a long time ago, and yet there's just a nice little legacy there, you know, that they left. And she was a very good woman that way. Yeah.
That's a beautiful
It is, and they used to have rooms upstairs for, you know, they used to rent out the rooms upstairs and sell vacuum cleaners throughout there, but that was just a neat little legacy, a little nugget in my history that I'll always hold on to. And when you mentioned the front door and all these other organizations, I just think that's, you know, there must have been another Yvonne somewhere else, you know, carrying on something here in Nashua, because there's so many different areas where people can find help.
You're very, very fortunate here in
Yeah.
Nashua. There's a lot of good support. There's a lot of dedicated and very intelligent people, too, in the nonprofit community that really are doing a lot with nothing.
Yeah. Well, people step to the plate, and that's the cool thing about this area. It's just the coolest thing. So let's get back to this benefit one more time. So refresh my memory. This is going to be held at?
Sky Meadow Country Club in Nashua.
Okay.
Yeah. It's Friday, April 1st, and tickets are available on Eventbrite. It's called Miami Nights Nashua at eventbrite.com. They're $50 per person, and 100% of those proceeds are going to go to our children's programs at Marguerite's Place.
100%.
Yes,
That's a nice percentage.
yes, it is.
And come one, come all, dressed in your 80s with your big hair and your shoulder
Yes,
pads.
come to have some fun.
And just wanted to refresh also, in order for people to donate, say, the fresh linens or the pillows or coats, or how do they get in touch with you?
Sure. They can call us at 603-598-1582 or visit us online at www.margueritesplace.org. And there's a wish list button, and then there's a donate now button, and either of them will drive them to the right place for
And they can make a
our
purchase, a
address.
financial, and that'll purchase, and it'll go right to you directly.
So are you a Patriots fan at all?
Yeah.
Oh, good, good. Because I have a signed Gronkowski shirt.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Are you raffling that off?
I am.
Oh, that's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's $10 for one chance.
And I think he just re-signed his contract. Yeah, they need him.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We do need him.
We need him, yeah. So we need Tom to beat Peyton's record this time. So
Yeah, that would be great.
quality people, those people. Wonderful. That's a nice gift. Now, how did you come across that? Does he know about this organization?
No, he doesn't, but we have received a Patriots Award in the past from one of our volunteers had earned that, and that came with a $25,000 grant. So we're very fond of the Patriots Foundation.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Kevin.
All right. Listen, if you're a big 80s fan, and you like the big hair and the music, make sure you attend this function April 1st. And if you'd like to make donations, obviously, it would be helpful. Join in the spirit that's so part of Nashua. And thanks for watching Gate City Chronicles. If you have a story and you want to come on the show and talk about it, I'd love to hear it. And until then, we'll see you. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching Gate City Chronicles. And we want to thank our sponsor, Avard Cleaning. They've been a sponsor for quite a few years now, and we appreciate them being a sponsor. And if you want to be a guest on our show, contact accessnashua@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your story. Until next week, thanks. Thanks for watching.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.